Hello there guys, welcome back to the second part of the Demarai Gray experiment. So in the first episode we sent him to Leicester, which is obviously his destination in real life, and he had a very disappointing first half of season and then full season at the club, and in his first full season Leicester were relegated to the Championship. Now I did say in the last episode that I don't think it would be like that. I think he's going to get much more of a chance and he's going to be much more involved than he was. But in Football Manager terms, that's what they predicted, so that's what we're going with. We're carrying on with that. So Alan Pardew has taken over at Leicester, and he has taken Demarai Gray off the loan list, so he's not for loan. Something that interests me slightly, and I find quite funny really, is he's not been in the team, but he's wanted by Watford, who are they still a Premier League team? Yeah, they're still a Premier League team. So he's got something about him because the Premier League team still wants him. But what we're going to do now, we're going to sim 5 years into the future and see what happens over the course of his career. Will he still be at Leicester, or will he have moved to Watford and maybe somewhere else? Let's go and find out. Okay then guys, so obviously we know that Leicester got relegated to the Championship. Well, in 2022 they're still in the Championship, but they have been a bit of a yo-yo club. Obviously, the very first season we did, they finished 7th in the end. They then dropped out of the Premier League by finishing 19th in the 2016-2017 season. They won the Championship the following year, so an immediate return back to the Premier League. And then an immediate return back to the Championship in 2018-19. Followed by second place, so again, straight back up. And then last season, straight back down. So Leicester have become the yo-yo club in this version of Football Manager. They're up and down more than somebody's knickers. I lost the train of thought. But anyway, that's how they've got on. Obviously, you can see the Championship that they won. They haven't won any other trophies at all since this save started, so that's been their only silverware has been the Championship promotion, in the third season of this experiment. So now what we need to do is we need to find Mr. Demarai Gray, and instantly you can see he's now at Hull. So let's have a look at his career, shall we? So we moved him over to Leicester here, and he then had those two poor seasons in the Championship, in the Premier League for them, to be fair, where he wasn't given a chance. In the Championship, he played 10 games and scored 1 goal before moving that season to Reading, also in the Championship, for 3.4 million. 17 appearances, 5 goals that season, 22 and 3 goals that season, and then made 7 appearances for them in the final season for them in the 2019-20 season, before moving to the Premier League with Swansea and making 10 appearances for 600k. Then he was moved out on loan to Hull City and he played 3 games. That was the end of that season. But then he moved to them permanently for £550,000 and he got 13 goals in 47 appearances last time out. So let's have a little look at Hull and see where they are now. Did his goals... No, his goals didn't get them to the Premier League. Interesting how Habsy's the manager there. But yeah, so in terms of this Football Manager, Demarai Gray's career just totally stalled and went off the boil a bit. Who wants him now, though? Bournemouth and still Watford. Watford are still interested in him. Bournemouth still in the Premier League at the new Bournemouth Stadium. What a name. Wow, £358 million they're worth now. That is crazy. But yeah, so Bournemouth want him. And Watford, who are a Premier League club still, also want him, managerless at the moment. But yeah, so he's forever being touted by Premier League teams, but he just doesn't seem to have kicked in anywhere. So let's have a look. Has he had loads of injuries? No, the longest he's been out has been 4 weeks. So he's not exactly been massively overly injury prone, has he? But teams just don't seem to utilise him. And the question you have to ask yourself is why? Because his stats are fairly decent. You know what I mean? You can see in his stats that he's got, his acceleration, his pace are worldy. Dribbling's great. What's his flair like? His flair's 14, determination 12. They're not bad stats at all. But he's got to the age of 25 and he's been sort of just shufted around championship clubs and no disrespect, but in Football Manager terms, lower end Premier League teams. And now he just sits, I don't know, I mean, he's most consistent since leaving Birmingham has been his little spell here at Hull, but it looks like he could be moving on from there. And then the question is, when he moves up to the Premier League, say either Bournemouth or Watford, you know, what sort of games will he get there? I have to say, I do not think at all that this is a fair representation of how Demarai Gray's career will pan out at all over the next 5 years. He's going to do well at Leicester, I can imagine. He's going to... I think he'll get goals in the Premier League. It may take him a while to settle in. I don't think we're going to have a Tom Ince issue where he'll go there and it just won't happen for him, like he did with Ince when he went to Hull. I think Gray at Leicester's going to kick on and do relatively well. He could surprise us all and do brilliantly. But then again, you know, maybe Football Manager knows something we don't and he doesn't settle in there and it doesn't kick off. Who knows? It's there for... It's just one of those things, isn't it, where you just haven't got a clue. But he's surely to God he's going to do a lot better. And I can guarantee in the first half of season he's at Leicester, he's going to play more than 3 games. I can guarantee that, unless he gets injured, of course. But guys, you can see the stats there. Things haven't gone very well for him, like I say, apart from that last season. But like I say, this is only Football Manager. It's not. I don't think this is in any way, shape, or form a fair representation. Guys, I'm out of time. So if you enjoyed this 2-part experiment, please drop a like down below. I'm really gutted that it hasn't sort of pushed him on more, and you know he hasn't done better. I think it's a bit of a shame, really. But I wasn't going to change anything. I was going to show you exactly what it showed us. It's just one version. Somebody else could do this experiment and he could go on to be the world's best player. Who knows? But guys, I'm out of time. So thanks very much for watching. It's been a pleasure being in your face. Bye-bye.